Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mark Goes Hiking. As you can see behind me, it's snowing. It is finally snowing in Michigan this year. I, for one, love it when it snows because I love to go hiking and I love to go backpacking in the snow. So what I want to talk about today is what clothing do I bring in the colder months when I go backpacking in Michigan, because the clothing I bring in the snow is much different than the clothing that I bring in the summer, hot, humid months. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start, I think, with more the extremity type of stuff, and I'll work my way to, I don't know, maybe the legs first and then the upper body, and we'll go from there. Doesn't really matter. We're going to talk about winter clothes. So let's talk about what I bring for winter hikes. So I just finished recording the intro and it's snowing. It started snowing even more. I'm so excited. Well, let's dive right in and talk more about the extremities first. We'll start with the feet. And if it's not too cold but not too warm, I'll continue to wear my trail runners when I go backpacking in the wintertime. But I do make sure if I do that to bring a pair of waterproof socks. These are seal skins. They are comfortable. They do keep your feet dry. The big negative is if your feet do get wet, they will stay wet, guaranteed, and they will be cold. So make sure that you are prepared for that. If you're gonna bring trail runners in the wintertime and they get wet, they're gonna turn icy and very cold. That could be dangerous depending on where you are and how far you plan on hiking, and if you don't have some sort of option to get your feet dry. So probably not the most recommended thing to do, but if you really know your trail, you're not far away from your vehicle, that sort of thing, I think it's completely acceptable. But definitely do not push the limits in the wintertime, especially if you're solo backpacking. That'd probably be pretty stupid. Typically what I'm gonna wear is my hiking boot. I wear a Vasque hiking boot. It is very comfortable, it's waterproof. It's not insulated, it's not gonna keep my feet warm, but it's gonna keep them dry. With a good wool sock, which I'll get to in a minute, it's gonna keep your feet warm. So this is what I will wear in the winter time, typically. Let's move to the head. Well, for hiking, most likely I'm gonna be wearing a ball cap. If it gets too cold or too windy, I'm going to be wearing an orange cap. I actually hike in this most of the time when it gets cold out, because I'll just put it on my head and I roll it up above my ears, and if I get cold, it'll cover my ears just a little bit. And if it starts to get too cold, I will wear my buff, because this is the other item that I have with me, and it's always around my neck when I go winter backpacking. And so if I get cold, I'll pull that up above my ears and I'll put this on my head as well. It's a really great system. It's versatile. I can change it in and out. If I get a little warm or a little cold, I can layer up even on the head, which is great. I do have other options for that as well, which I will get to, but let's first talk about the hands. I do bring 2 pair of gloves when backpacking in the wintertime. I bring a pair of North Face waterproof gloves. This is for setting up camp, because you're going to be dealing with snow, you're going to be dealing with moisture, and sometimes the snow will turn to freezing rain depending on when you go. And when you're setting things up, it's so nice to keep your hands dry. A normal pair of gloves, once they get wet, they're going to stay wet in the wintertime and your fingers will freeze. So I wear a pair of these for doing things around camp. Now for in my tent or for just hanging around the fire, if I have a pair of gloves on, I just have a simple pair of outdoor research gloves that I wear. They're just nice and soft, but if they get wet, they're gonna stay wet and your hands are gonna freeze. Not cool, not cool at all. Okay, let's dive in next to the, let's go legs or torso. Let's go legs first. As always, what I will wear if I'm not wearing a pair of liner shorts when I go hiking, I'm gonna wear a pair of 100% wool boxer briefs. So these are a pair of Smartwool. They're 100% merino wool, very comfortable, very warm, and that's what I'm going to be wearing. Because you really want to know what kind of underwear I wear, right? Right? Socks, I'm also going to go 100% merino wool. My favorite socks out there are from MerinoTech, or MerinoTech, Merino. MerinoTech.com. They have shirts, they have hoodies, they have socks. Very, very comfortable. 100% merino wool, and that is my footwear. Where in the summertime, I'm typically wearing Injinjis, and I kind of moved away from Darn Tough socks. Not because I don't like the product, in Gingies I like so much more. But in the wintertime, I'm going to go 100% merino wool and a little bit taller because of the hiking boot, okay? My under layer on my legs is I'm wearing a pair of Smartwool leggings. These are either 100% merino wool or 87% merino wool, 30% nylon. They're man leggings.
Be more man than him!
Right, it's your base layer for your legs. Very warm, they dry very fast, mostly because of the body heat from your legs, so you do have to be careful of that. But if they get a little wet, they're going to dry very fast. But they're very comfortable and just very versatile, which I really appreciate. For a pair of shorts, I actually wear a pair of Columbia zip-off pants without the bottoms. I just wear the shorts. The reason I like this is it does require a belt, well, for me. So I wear a belt with these, which means I can put a little bit of a better knife with my gear. Kind of a bushcraft type of knife for getting the campfire wood and all that ready. But I do like the cargo pockets for some things that are a little bit more accessible for hanging around camp, or just for that colder weather. I'll put my gloves right in the pockets here. It's just kind of nice. Also a little bit longer than what I wear in the summertime. So that is what I wear on my legs. Let's now move to the torso. MerinoTech.com. Here's my base layer t-shirt from MerinoTech. 100% merino wool. I wear this in the summertime. I wear this in the wintertime. That's the first item. Next is going to be one of two items. If it's not going to be too bloody cold out, I will wear this over that t-shirt you just saw. And it's an Outdoor Research long sleeve hoodie. Again, another option for my head if it's too cold. This is very thin, very light, but does trap a little bit of the body heat in as you're hiking. And as we know, while we're hiking, while we're moving, we get hot and we get sweaty. But this is one option that I will wear when I'm on trail. The other one, if it's a little bit colder out, I'll wear my Patagonia long sleeve hoodie. Same concept, just a little bit thicker. Will stay a little bit warmer. Now, both of these come with me no matter what. And depending on what the temperature is going to do, or what the temperature is going to be, one of these will be my hiking during the day shirt, and one will be my camp shirt, okay? Now, the other thing I will have with me is this Appalachian Gear Company hoodie, this alpaca fleece, or alpaca wool hoodie. I have not taken this yet, winter backpacking. It is coming with me for the first time in a week, I think, and we'll see how it goes. So I do carry quite a bit of clothes in the wintertime, but I think that's probably smart. Pretty versatile. The other thing that I do have for my outer layer, this is more for hanging around camp, and also will get stuffed into my pillow, is simply a puffy coat. I don't really need to say anything more about that, do I? And I think I have two more items in here. Two more items. For sleeping, I do have a pair of X-Ped camp shoes. These are down-filled. They're not real big. Someday I'd like to get a pair of like Z-Pax booties, but I just haven't. These work fine, and so I do use these in the wintertime for when I'm sleeping. Keeps your feet just a little bit warmer. Kind of a just in case, because frankly my quilt and stuff is fine, but it's just comfortable. It's nice. So here is you might be thinking, man, that base layer, your legs are going to freeze when you get to camp and all that kind of stuff. I kind of agree. That's probably not a smart idea. So I do have a pair of, I think there's our Mountain Hardware, Mountain Warehouse. We have an outlet store about an hour from my house for Mountain Warehouse. And these are a pair of fleece-lined pants. Very comfortable. The outside layer is not waterproof, but it is kind of water resistant. It's really snow resistant. The snow's not gonna stick to this and melt, so that's really nice. And then it's a fleece-lined pant. So when I get to camp, I get everything set up, I will put these on to stay warm around camp. Really a nice option. All of that does add up to quite a bit of weight, but in the wintertime, I think protecting yourself from hypothermia and also keeping yourself from sweating too much is a delicate balance here in Michigan. And I think the clothing setup I have mitigates that danger But I do have one other item I want to share with you, if I can find it, because I've got a pile of stuff here. So let's see. All right, when I'm around camp, when I'm setting up camp or processing wood for my fire, I bring something from my summer setup. I do bring a pair of Mountain Warehouse, and you can get lighting equipment too if you want to spend a lot more money, but they are rain pants. The reason I bring rain pants is because they're not going to let your clothes get wet. So while I'm maybe kneeling on the ground in the snow, no matter how wet or not wet the snow is, this will prevent my clothes from getting wet. Kind of makes sense. I take these along, I throw them on, and then when I'm done setting up camp, processing wood, basically rolling around in the snow, then I'll take these things off. Or if I'm sitting around the campfire and it is snowing, I'll probably put these on as well, just so my legs don't start to get wet from all the snow. I think that makes sense. That's my setup, you know, from extremities right down to the body. I'm kind of curious, do you guys take anything different? Am I crazy for any of these ideas? What are your thoughts? Leave those down below. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and comment. I'd really appreciate that. I think that's all, folks. You guys have a great day. Thanks for viewing. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.